All right, thank you so much for joining me while I break down the postures the way that I teach them and the way that I believe is really great for our alignment. So whatever I say, take it however you want. It doesn't mean I'm right, it's just how I teach. And I have Shane here demonstrating today. I've tried to film the videos many times, so just know that there's noises in the background. And that I'm letting it go and moving forward anyways. So we're gonna start with Tadasana, or mountain pose. And the first thing that we always want to start with when looking at postures is the foundation, because a strong foundation is exactly what is needed to prevent injury and to move from a place of strength, really improving the practice. So the first thing that you want to do is bring the feet to hip distance apart, inner hip distance apart. And there's a couple ways that you can do that. The first way is to find the bumps on the hips and then to draw straight lines down. So you want to draw the line all the way down the leg, and you want it to come through the center of the knee, all the way down to the center of the ankle, and then shoot out the second toe forward to the top of the mat. Nice. And so just to demonstrate, if your legs were wider, Shane, and you were to draw a straight line down from that, it's not following the leg, it's going all the way straight down to the ground. So you notice that it doesn't keep going the way that I was just talking about. There's another easier way to do it. You bring your feet to what you think is hip distance, take your two palms, place them together, and then put them in between your feet. This is a really great way to measure hip distance apart. Nice. So starting with the foundation, lift up all 10 of your toes. Spread them wide. And then push into the four corners of the bottom of your feet. There's a couple ways to do this as well. Imagine that your feet are cars. And if your feet were cars, where would you put the wheels? Push into those four areas simultaneously. Or just think about the mound below the big toe, the mound below the baby toe, the mound on the inner heel, and the mound on the outer heel. Push the weight into those four corners of the bottom of your feet. Keep the toes lifted. Now put the toes down and then lift the toes again, and notice the engagement in the shins and the calves. Keep that. And then lift the kneecaps by engaging the thighs. And then squeeze your bum. And then bring your hands to your hips. We're going to learn a little bit about the pelvis here. Imagine your pelvis is a bowl, which is exactly what it is. It's a bowl. And imagine that this bowl was full of water. So if you wanted to spill the water out the front of your body or anteriorly, you would pour it forward. So you'd put an anterior tilt into the pelvis. Now imagine the opposite. You want to pour the water out the back of the body. You would put a posterior tilt into your pelvis. And notice when you put a posterior tilt in that the tailbone tucks under, or you point the tailbone towards the front of your body. Nice. So back to Tadasana. Lift the toes, engage the shins and the calves, engage the thighs, squeeze the bum, and then put, put a slight posterior tilt in the pelvis, or slightly tuck the tailbone. Yes, pull the belly button in towards the spine, engage the core, and then bring your shoulders up to your ears, to the back of the room, and then down your spine. Bring the palms so they face forward. Spread the fingers wide, engage the fingers. Now notice as you engage the fingers, you engage the arms. Keep the arms strong. Pull the belly button in and bring your chin so it's parallel to the floor. Stay engaged. This is the foundational posture for all of your standing poses. And now imagine how you've always thought of Tadasana. Maybe it hasn't been cued for you. Maybe it has just been a posture you come into before you move to another one. The two hardest postures in yoga are Tadasana and Dandasana, which is staff pose. Because it doesn't look like much is going on, but why would it be called mountain pose if you were just hanging out all loosey-goosey? So truly embrace the name of the posture. This is a strong posture. You are engaged. After holding it for some time, you feel fatigued. Take a deep breath and let it out. And now I'm going to ask Shane to turn to face the front of the mat. And I'm just going to give you some hands-on that you as a teacher can provide to students. So come back to Tadasana. And often one of the things that students are doing is they're so engaged the shoulders are up around the ears. So you can just push those down as a gentle reminder. I push them down and out. You always want to be moving or hands-on adjusting the body with the lines of energy. So that's what we want to happen here. Another thing that often happens is the belly pushing forward and the bum pushing back. So you can, nice, really lovely. You can remind the student about their foundation by pushing into their feet. Nice.